having a leader that you can trust is absolutely paramount. My name's Sara Lawton and I'm the Director of Rise Construction Framework. We're a procurement vehicle for the public sector to purchase capital works and services. So if the NHS wants to refurbish a ward, or a university wants to build an extension, or a local council needs to do any sort of building project, they could come to our organisation and we source the contractor and the consultants for them. Our professional sector, I suppose, would be procurement, because the public sector procure capital works and services from us. But we actually fall into a global sector called the social and solidarity economic sector, which is around businesses that are businesses for good, and they're called prosocial businesses. And that is a really good sector to be in. I think one of the things about the sector, when you hear people talk about the prosocial sector and the social and solidarity economy as it's called, and there's a global forum, etc., is that one of the things that I came to realise, it's just like any other sector. So even though it's a social sector, it's full of competitors. I think one of the eye-openers for me was working in the third sector when I did a stint there, is probably the charitable sector can be one of the most uncharitable sectors there is. And that's all around organisations who've been put in a position where funding has been reduced dramatically over the years. And they are constantly competing for their own survival. And that doesn't create a healthy atmosphere. But it's very, very important, because it was that realisation that actually made me want to found Rise Construction Framework. So we are really, really unique as a business. So we're a private company. We invest over the year profits into the third sector to deliver innovative social value and social impact. We exist to tackle the manifestations of deprivation and poverty. The reason that we want to do that is that I'm so passionate about communities. I come from a deprived community, and we look at where we are as a Liverpool City region, and deprivation in some areas has increased during the past 10 years. I'm really passionate that every person, regardless of your start in life, should have the opportunity to have a safe home, put food on the table, and have a quality of life. And I think that's really what drives me, and because of that, that's what drives the business. We're really different from other frameworks on the market and other procurement vehicles, because we're a pro-social business. We were born from purpose, not from profit. And our mission is to become, we've already done it. We are a self-sustainable private company that invests profits into community projects and initiatives to tackle poverty and deprivation. And that's been our purpose from day one. I think it's somebody who's got a vision and knows what they want to achieve. I think it's somebody who is supportive of you. In order to be a good leader, you need to be able to tell your team where you're going, how to get there, help your team to get there, and be clear about what your purpose is. So I would like to think that all of my team know why we do what we do, that it's not around just the transaction of procurement, that, if you like, is the vehicle we use to drive change across deprived communities. I would say that I'm an accidental leader. So I'm not somebody who was had an idea that, when I was younger, this is what I want to be. In fact, you could probably say to me, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I'd probably say, I don't know. I'm probably, only about 15 years off retirement. So I would like to think that as a leader, firm but fair. So as a leader, I do believe in sharing our vision, having the team to be as passionate about I am about the good work that we do across communities. I'm a leader that is supportive, I'm a leader that will roll my sleeves up and get stuck in as well. But I'm also a leader that supports and trains and develops the team, because I think that's really important, because you have to be able to empower the team to work alongside you, with you, because I believe that's how you get the best inputs. But alongside that, you also have to be, in some aspects, firm about when you work for an organisation like ours. I am very much a strong believer in how we behave as individuals have to reflect the organisational values. I mean, I've been very fortunate in the career that I've had. I've worked in large, complex organisations. So I've had numerous leaders. Some have been good, some have been not so good, and some have been okay. I've tried to take on sort of, in my own leadership style, I've tried to learn from the leaders that I really respect. So leaders who've given me time, leaders who have said to me, actually, Sarah, that's not the best way to approach things. And sometimes leaders who've given me feedback that hasn't necessarily been comfortable at the time, but it's helped me to grow. I remember moaning in one of my first jobs. I was sitting there moaning in a meeting, and one of our district managers come down, and at the time I was working for Job Centre Plus, and he said, well, instead of moaning, why don't you try and get yourself promoted and do something about it and make a change, instead of like coming and being negative at meetings. And I was thinking, oh, okay then. And I think I was only probably maybe 21, 22, and I did. And that sort of changed things for me, because I was able to sort of, I learned more about the business. I learned what we were trying to do as an organisation. I wanted to be a good leader. I wanted to make change. I wanted to support people using the services. So then that was sort of the journey of my leadership. Having a leader that you can trust is absolutely paramount. So you've got a team leader or a manager, and you can trust them and trust what they're saying to you and trust the feedback. I think that's really, really shaped me. My team trusts me. They trust me when I have to make difficult decisions, that I'm making them for the right reasons. And I think with that trust comes respect. And that's important. That's important, because if you've not got the trust and respect, are you a leader or are you just somebody's boss? In the past, maybe I've not listened to people enough. Sometimes I've listened too much. Some of the mistakes I've made is when I've not listened to my gut. So particularly around, if it's something that, whether it be around an individual that I'm working with or the delivery of a project, and I've had a gut feeling and I've not sort of followed that gut feeling because I've been nervous as a leader, saying, you know, make this decision too quick, it could result in A, B, C and D, but actually I think, yeah, I should have executed that decision more quickly and followed my gut. I've always had difficult jobs. I've always had challenging jobs, and I always set myself really high standards. And when you set yourself high standards, it can be difficult to, you know, you expect those high standards of everybody else. So I've really had to sort of develop myself that actually people were all different. And, you know, a quality that you see in somebody is something that to be appreciated. Not everybody works like you, and you have to accept that there are people in a team who do things better than you, and you have to let them do things, you know, because actually it makes you and your organisation better. I don't think this is a failure. I'm very value driven, and if somebody's asking me to do something that doesn't align with my values, I won't do it. There are organisations I could work with, there are individuals I could work with, but their values do not align with my own values, so I don't choose to align myself with them. Am I being stubborn? Would a good leader, you know, let the commercial side of the business suffer because of the values? So some people would see that as a mistake, but I actually see that as a reason as why people should work with us, because we're ethical. I see that as one of the strengths, really. find people that you trust around you, find people who've got good experience, people who will support you, give you advice, but let you make your own informed decisions. If somebody just tells you what to do, you don't learn as much. So people sort of allowing you to make mistakes isn't a bad thing, because sometimes they're the greatest lessons. Your management skills, definitely, as a new manager, don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to say you're not sure about something, because you haven't actually got anything to prove. What you've got to do is, as a new manager, work with your colleagues to support yourself and them, so you can become the best manager that you can be. You know, it's like anything, isn't it? You don't start a painter and decorating course and on day one paint the Sistine Chapel. It comes with time.